There we go.
What's going on, brother?
Not much. I saw you went live, so I figured I'd go ahead and jump on in.
Yeah, I getting used to the triple monitor setup.
But how you liking it so far?
So far so good, I guess. I was on Alex's show. Is my camera moving? Am I moving in the camera, or is it still?
Yeah. Yeah, you're good. You're moving.
Because like he said on his show that the camera was completely still the whole time,
Mhm.
and I'm like, okay, I didn't.
You're a little laggy, but your audio's good.
I changed internet. I have a extended thing down here for my Wi-Fi
Okay.
to see if that would help. Um, but if I am laggy, that's not good either.
Your audio's good. It's just the camera's a little laggy. It's like one of those old Godzilla movies.
Okay, let me try something real
Let
quick.
me try it. Yeah, let me make an adjustment on my end as well. Right, I actually have both light sets working this week, and I'm getting blinded by them. Actually, I should move the lights behind me, but then that means rerouting the cables, and I should honestly have one. I should have one light behind me and one right in front of me, so that I get that dual light effect. But that means moving shit around and getting it set up, and then having to um remember to turn them both on. But because I have them both in front of me right now, I'm just having some food real quick before we got started.
Let's try and see this a little bit better. Still lagging? Yeah, it looks like it is. Maybe not.
I was muted. Sorry about that.
Still lagging?
No, you look good.
Good there? Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah,
All
that's
right.
pretty good. Yep.
I went to the internet extender that I have down here. I went on that network instead of the other one, the main one that we
Okay.
have.
Yeah, yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm still getting used to having the monitors and not having to print anything out anymore.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Right.
Damn it.
Well, if you guys want, Gerald asked me to send him the link, so I can
Okay.
send it to him if you want me to. I don't know, because I know we had discussed last week that we wanted to kind of keep it the OG 3. So
Yeah,
that's up. I'll leave it
especially
up to you.
Right.
for this week with it being a special show, I kind of want to just run the crew.
3,
Right.
cool. Run the crew it is. Well, and we
Right.
got Nicole on next week too, so
Right.
leave it on. We'll leave it at that next
All
week
right.
too.
And
Okay.
then Betty after that. And then if he wants to come on for the college football show or for the
Yeah,
football
yeah.
radio show,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
the
open
27th.
there
we'll
we
open
go.
it up. We'll open it up for that one. But for
Right.
Cool.
Oh.
What is up, guys? It is the sports nerd Bradley Walker, and welcome to the Walker Report, part of NGSC Sports. Guys, remember the website, it's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. So, guys, tonight we are going to do a special show. This will just be a boxing show only. So we're going to talk about boxing throughout the show. If you guys want to, we can start with the matches and then go through the boxers at the end. There's 100 of them. But we don't have to
At least.
go through all 100.
Yeah.
But there were let's see if I can go back to my notes here and see if I can find this is gonna be another reason why I'm kind of slowing down too, is my computer's not used to running all this stuff at one time.
Yeah.
Either.
Right.
Let's see. Well, those are the boxers. Okay.
For that too.
Where are my matches at? Let's see. Right here.
I'm gonna grab one.
Let's see. So I did some research, guys, and these are, I think, the top 10 of all time. Number
All
1
right.
on this list is Ali Frazier 3.
Don't want to talk Frazier. Don't
Not
want to
1 or
talk Frazier.
2, but number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was, I guess, labeled the fight of the century.
Yes.
Is what it was labeled. So,
Yes.
Frazier won.
But that was number. Yeah, that was number. I think that was number 1.
Gotta be.
Here, let me look it up, guys, on my phone, because this is
Yeah.
I'm getting too much lag on. It's slowing down over here on. I'll have to get used to using the 3-screen thing, and
Right.
on.
a second. Let me, because I know I sent those to myself.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I sent those earlier. Remember that I also have a lot of articles I send myself to.
Right. Oh, you
Back
did.
and forth. No, I apologize, guys, if I am like overloading Facebook right now, because
Right.
I'm posting all these articles. Like I have I don't know, 3 or 4 going up daily. So
Oh yeah.
try to keep
Well.
fresh content on the website. So
Makes sense to me.
but we are doing better. Our numbers are up. Our numbers
Sweet.
have been up. So that's good.
Nice.
Yes. Okay. So let me go ahead and rephrase that. Yes, number 1 here. I'm gonna actually remove this off of here. Maybe that'll kind of beat everything. Yes, number 1 was Ali Frazier 3 on October 1st, 1975.
Oh yeah.
Hard to argue with that. I mean, any of the you could take any of the 6 matches between Ali Frazier and Foreman. And if you put any one of them, any one of those could be number 1. And
Absolutely.
and I think you'd be hard pressed to argue that people would be hard pressed to argue with you about any of those 6 fights, in my opinion.
Oh, no question about that.
Okay, number 2, guys, is Gotti Ward 1, May 18th, 2002.
That's a trilogy that I think there ain't a bad fight in that trilogy either. I've seen all 3 of those fights.
Yeah.
And that you gun to my head, if I had to pick one, I would pick 2 personally. But you can't go wrong with any of those 3. Hard to argue with any of those 3.
Okay. Hagler Hearns, April 15th, 1985.
That was another fight of the century. Super hype fight and a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 4 was Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo, May 7th, 2005.
That's one I'm not familiar with, so
Yeah, no.
I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Without knowing it or and knowing. Well, I agree with the top 4. I think all 4 of those are great fights. So I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt and go on to number whatever the next one is.
Yeah, the next one, guys, is George Foreman versus Roy Lyle, January 24th, 1976.
I remember Foreman doing that, but I'm not sure if I remember the other guy. That guy was only 6 years old, so.
Was that the second? Was that a title defense fight? Or was that a
Let me see. The term heavyweight slugfest perfectly encapsulates this 1976 matchup between Foreman and Lyle. Both men were out to prove themselves. Big George was returning from that historic Rumble in the Jungle defeat to Muhammad Ali, while Lyle was desperate to assert himself in the title picture. Threat is what.
So that was a contender. It was a contender.
So it was a battle of 2 big guys, 2 big heavyweights, is what that basically.
Yeah, I don't know if it was considered a number 1 contenders fight or not, but it was definitely a contenders fight to get back to. I guess would it have been Ali in 76? I think so.
Yes.
The next one, guys, is I haven't heard of these 2 guys either. It's Israel Vázquez versus Rafael Marquez, March 1st, 2008. Mexican rivals is what it says.
One I've got familiar with.
And though, let's see if that was it. Did I miss
I'm surprised that Tyson hasn't.
Well, there were some honorable mentions down here too. Let me give you the honorable ones that were not listed down. Eric Morales versus Marco Antonio Barrera, November 27th, 2004.
That was 3.
Aaron Pryor versus Alexis Arguello, November 12th, 1982.
I think I heard that one.
Ali Frazier won, March 8th, 1971. How about this one? Roberto Duran versus Sugar Ray Leonard, June 20th, 1980.
Hell yeah. I remember that being the cover of Sports Illustrated cover the next week.
Julio Cesar Chavez versus Meldrick Taylor won, March 17th, 1990. Here's an old one. Rocky Marciano versus Joe Walcott won, September 23rd, 1952.
Undefeated.
I was thinking of another old one that I think is a great fight is Joe Louis versus Max Schmeling.
Ooh, that's right.
Well,
something like that.
The next one is Ali Foreman, October 3rd, 1974, the Rumble in the Jungle.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. How could you miss that one?
It's so hard. It's so hard to nail down. I'm a huge boxing guy. I love boxing, and I talk boxing on the show all the time. And I'm really excited to get to do this show. So I appreciate that. Appreciate letting me do a special show that's kind of my special interest. I'm such a boxing nerd. But when it comes to it's so easy to cherry pick great fights. Because we have boxing has been around for 100 years, and we have 100 years going on 100 years of televised fight or recorded fights. Is the word I was looking for.
Yes.
So
Why? Well, actually, it goes back to the caveman days. I mean, they instead of boxing, they used to use clubs and knock each other out. So,
that's a
on the
totally
bugger.
that's a totally different event.
Yeah, true. But it's related.
Uh,
That's the origins, though.
you know, those early boxing matches from the late 18th and early 19th and early 20th century when they go from the Queensberry of Queen's rules and the that style of boxing into the what we think of as modern boxing. And you
Yeah.
have the early greats like Jack Dempsey and Max Schmeling, Joe Louis. The color barrier being broken.
Hmm.
And then you
Well,
have
Dempsey,
you have
I was gonna say,
go
but
ahead.
Dempsey was on my list next versus Luis Angel Ferrupo. If I'm pronouncing that last name correctly.
I
That
think
was
it's
September
yeah.
14th, 1923. So
Mm,
that
Mm.
was way back.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Only on radio back then.
right. Yeah, for sure.
And then you have Rocky Graziano versus Tom Zale, match 3, June
Hmm.
10th, 1948.
Okay.
All
That
right.
one. And then Ray Robinson versus Jake LaMotta,
Mm,
6,
Raging
February
Bull.
13th, 1951.
That's Raging Bull.
Valentine's Day.
now you get a guy to fight twice in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull a fantasy one here. No, I'm kidding. I'll stop.
Oh.
I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna make a joke.
Oh, come on. Tell me a joke.
Balboa versus Drago.
Yeah.
I would actually go um Apollo Creed, Rocky versus Apollo Creed, one
You're going down.
in the
You're going
first.
down, Chuck. They gotta be a rematch.
First
They
one.
gotta be a rematch.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the first. I think to me, and I'm gonna treat this seriously. I'm gonna take you seriously, um, because it's funnier that way. Um, I think the first fight was the best movie depiction of boxing,
Mm.
um, at the time. And by the time we get to Rocky 4 and we get to Drago and at that point
Yeah.
I don't resonate with it as much because it's too cartoony. It's too silly. It's too
5 was
goofy.
worse.
No, we don't talk about
Yes,
5.
I agree.
5
I pretend like
sucked.
that never happened.
Yeah.
Rocky 1 and 2. I think personally, I think Rocky 1 is a better movie than Rocky 2, and I think
Yes.
it's a better depiction of the fight game. And I think it, when what I think makes that movie so good, and I'm not saying that Rocky 4 is a bad movie and that you can't like it, and if you like it and you think it's a great movie, that's fine, go for it, enjoy it. But the human story of Rocky versus Apollo Creed is
Yeah.
more interesting to me than the socio-political intrigue of Rocky 4.
Right.
Where it's because in Rocky 4, it's the height of the Cold War,
Right.
it's all those tensions and all that playing out, and Rocky wins, but it's just so silly. The whole thing. I saw an interview. I think it was on the Rich Eisen show.
Mm.
From it's probably a decade ago now.
Well, before that though, you had to remember when Drago fought Creed. That ended, horribly.
Right. And
Like the world champion. Oh boy.
yeah, I think it was
If he dies, he
eight
dies.
lines of dialogue in the entire film.
Hmm. He dies.
If
He dies.
he dies. Yes.
He dies, he dies.
If he dies,
He dies. He dies.
There were 2 more guys on the list. I have Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko, April
Okay.
29th,
Oh yeah.
2017.
Oh yeah.
And the last one, we were talking earlier about Hearns. How about Leonard Hearns won
Oh,
September 16th,
classic.
1981?
A classic.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Leonard fight him 3 times, or was it just twice that they got
It
together
was twice, wasn't it?
with Hearns?
I don't remember offhand.
I think it was twice.
That
Let me
sounds
see.
right.
let me see.
I think back then they didn't do fights the same point 3 times. I think it's become more recent. I think it was just 2 back in those days.
It really varied because you see some of those older guys who fought each other 5, 6, 7 times. And then you had guys in the 60s and 70s they fought each other 3 times. And you had guys in the 80s that fought each other once or twice. And then now you have guys that fight each other 3 times now. I mean, I think it just depends on. And at the end of the day, it's marketing, right?
Right,
And
of course.
and if fights 1 and 2 go off and make $1 bajillion, they want fight 3. If they can put it together, if it makes financial sense for both fighters and the promotions.
Right.
So,
They fought
some do, some don't.
twice. 81 and 89 is when Hearns fought Leonard twice.
Okay.
What took you so long? You wait 8 years for the fight?
7 years in, 8 years in between the two fights.
I mean, not for nothing, but Sugar Ray was looking kind of old back then, by the time 89 came around. So, how much he had left in him? Not much.
Get them.
Well, I was going to say, anytime I think of Hearns, I always think of Hagler. I think those
you can't go on Marvin.
Those 2 men were maybe, and again, I'm not the biggest, hugest boxing fan ever, but watching highlights, because that was, I think, before my time, maybe when I was very young. Bloodiest fights I think I've ever seen.
Oh, no question.
Hearns looked like he had been put through a meat grinder. I mean, Hagler took him to the whooping shed. I think in both fights, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yep. Did Hagler win both of those fights, or did Hearns win one?
I believe he did.
Yeah, I don't remember offhand. I'm sorry.
Oh, you should kill me.
Yeah.
What month was that again? 89, Bradley.
The second fight between Leonard and Hearns was June 12th, 1989. They call it the War. It was at Caesar's Palace.
June 12th of 89, a week before I graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
I think my prom was that night, by the way, too. Oh, boy.
I was 89. June of 89, I was -2. Like, -1 in 9 months or something like that. Yeah.
89, I was 6. I was 6 years old.
I'm still major, guys. Forgive me.
I was 6.
I wasn't even a twinkle in my father's eye in 89.
I'm really showing my age now. I may look young, but I'm not that young.
What was we're talking about boxing and stuff. Cinderella Man, that was an actual match, right?
Yes, yes, it was.
That was based on a true story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? I think.
Yes, it was a movie in 2005.
Let me see.
One of Russell Crowe's best movies.
James J. Braddock was the fighter in that movie. Who did he face? Who was the fighter? Oh, it was Max Baer was the fight. It was the 1935 heavyweight championship. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
James Braddock earned a gross purse of approximately $31,000.
Not bad for that guy.
That is not bad for 1935.
No.
I wonder what that would be like in today's money.
I am looking it up.
35 million.
Could be. Oh,
$200,000
would be what it would be today.
Okay, so it was off a few.
Would be what it would be today.
Well, it doesn't do inflation, of course, but.
Well, and remember too, I think back that fight was during the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Yes.
Depression years.
You did say 1931, right?
I did say 1931. Yeah.
Then yes, it was in the Great Depression. Yes, that was part of. It was in the middle of the Great Depression.
Yeah, that was right at the start of the Great Depression.
Yes.
Yeah, so I obviously to make any money would have been a bonus.
and then after he lost, he was depressed.
Yeah. But I guess he split, like you said, he split it 50-50 with his manager. So
yeah.
Oh, okay. So he made because that
$35,000. You don't fight this guy. You want some? Sorry.
I'm not sure when that article is from, but In today's money, it's almost 800,000. It's over $750,000.
That's all.
Oh, there you go. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
I misread that. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Huh.
That makes more sense to be so $250,000, and it would be in today's
Yeah.
money.
That's
Okay.
to be a
Quarters
lot
of a
higher.
million dollars.
Quarter of a, or I'm sorry, you're right. $750,000. My bad. $750,000. Yeah.
Boy, I was way off.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I thought it was like I just but you also have to think about the fact that that it's a heavyweight championship. Let's see.
Sure.
What did let's see. What did Benny Joshua? If I could spell Joshua right.
JUSHUA.
that fight's coming out later this year. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch that fight later this year.
Ooh.
Joshua and Fury.
Yeah. That should be a good fight.
His last fight, which was just a few weeks ago, which is what inspired this kind of inspired this show, was he made from the fight, he made over $6.6 million.
Oh, Jesus.
So 10
Sure.
times
God.
what was Jack, whatever his, I don't know. Just was looking
Braddock?
at it. Yeah,
James Braddock.
James Braddock. Almost 10 times what Braddock made. So, you need to think about that. And the fact that the fight, he made almost $1 million from that fight in 1931. In today's money,
Yes.
$35,000 in their money is the equivalent to nearly $1 million in our money. It's in, at the height of the Depression. At the height of the Depression,
Yeah. Well, I want to say, I think at the end of the movie, they said that he used that money to buy a house, and he went on to be a construction worker. I think they were New Jersey, I think is what city. Say, I don't know where James Braddock is. Was he from Jersey or New York? I'm not sure.
I think New York.
New York?
Yeah. Nobody thought Jersey was
it says the Pride of New Jersey.
Oh,
That was what his nickname was. He was from
the Pride of New Jersey.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, he was born in Hell's Kitchen,
Queens.
Lou. Born in Hell's
Yeah.
Kitchen. He died in North Bergen, New Jersey
Oh,
in 1974 at the age of 69.
I think I read that.
His spouse died the same year.
Oh.
May, his wife, died the same
Wow.
year, 1974. So, okay, so he 31,000, so he split that evenly with his manager. So what? 15, 14, 5?
Something like
15,
that.
5, something like
14-5. I'll take it.
because he went on to then face Joe Louis and lost the heavyweight
He figured.
championship. Braddock went on to face Joe Louis, I
You
think,
couldn't mess with Joe Louis.
shortly after that. Yeah. Oh, Braddock enlisted into the U.S. Army in 1942, became a first lieutenant.
Ooh.
Okay. During World War II. 42 was World War II, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a history buff. Sometimes I don't remember what.
So am I.
So when
Now for the
Braddock
rest.
died, his net worth was $100,000. At that time,
Not
that's
bad
not
back
really all that bad. That's not all
back then.
that.
No.
Yeah, back in the 30s or the 70s, because he died in the 70s. So yeah, it's not bad.
74.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
No.
Champion of the world.
Yeah.
His granddaughter is an actor. Actress.
Anyone we know of?
Rosemary DeWitt.
Hmm.
Let's see if I.
I'm sure if you know.
She was.
That-
She played Sarah Wilson in Cinderella Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Okay, yeah, I've seen her then.
And I know her, and then she's married to Ron Livingston, who was. Oh yeah, who was in. He played Nix in Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah.
That's a good TV series.
Great TV series.
My brother-in-law was into
Right.
that.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of boxing, but I am gonna see Joshua Fury later this year. Looking forward to that.
Yep. Yep. Looking forward to that one too.
The problem is that boxing has lost so much in popularity to the UFC, and it's been kind of hard to find an audience. And boxing, the boxers don't fight as much as they used to. And you don't see a lot of anywhere on TV anymore. So it's really become a dying breed. Sorry to say.
And I think people, like you said, the rise of UFC has hurt it, and just culture has changed. Culture has shifted.
Yeah.
People don't enjoy boxing the way they used to.
No, they don't.
It used to be back in the day it was baseball, boxing, and horse racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I remember you said the fights on ABC and HBO and everything, and I always look forward to a good fight. Now it's like you can't even find it. I mean, even pay-per-view has even lost the luster of boxing.
It's just, and I think just society has changed so much that people just don't
Yeah,
don't follow boxing
not like I did.
like they did even in the 80s and 90s. There's just no guys that boxing. There's
No.
no guys that capture the cultural zeitgeist like a Tyson, like a Ali, like a Foreman.
Yeah, I think you're right about
Brothers.
that. I think there's no the big names. There's no big names anymore for everyone to follow.
No.
A career type of thing and stuff like that. So
There's
I
no
would agree with that.
There's no casual boxing on cable television. It's not like you
Correct.
like when I was a kid. Friday night fights. On ESPN all summer
Sure.
long.
Mhm.
And there's just no draw. And if there's no draw, there's no reason to put them on.
No.
Right.
Boy, things have changed since I was a kid.
Well, I remember watching, HBO boxing with Jim Lampley and
Sure.
who was the older gentleman that Merriweather had an issue with. They confronted each other in the ring.
Yeah,
And I
I
can't remember
think I
who it
saw that.
was. Oh Jesus! Let me look it up real quick. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Let me look that up.
If you do, I might know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Mayweather. Oops. If I could spell, it would be great. Let's see. Let's see. Conflicts. It was Larry Merchant.
That's it.
Larry
Right.
Merchant. It was the guy that he got into it. It was after a match, and he said that you don't know boxing. You're an old man.
Right.
No one.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of Dion and Tim McCarver when Dion threw water at him
Whoa.
during
Whoa.
in the locker room.
It's like
Something at him,
Joe
threw some
Smart.
kind of liquid at him. some kind of way. And he goes, "You're
Right.
classless, Dion."
Larry Merchant also did some sports shows for the USA Network as well. So
Yeah. No, and I think that just the attitude around boxing has changed over the
absolutely.
past 30 years. I love that, and I was just looking it up.
40.
Like, there are fights going on. There are fights all over the place. It's just they don't have a mainstream TV audience. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
hard.
true.
It's hard, and when you have clown boxing and you don't have proper fighters fighting, and it's
Yeah.
all a shit show, and it's all the Jake Pauls, and it's YouTuber boxing, influencer boxing, and
Not enough. Not good
it's
enough.
a spectacle, and it's not about the fights, and when the problem for guys like Jake Paul and spectacle fighters is if there's no spectacle, there's no reason to fight.
Correct.
No.
And to build a reputation as a fighter, you have to fight the losers, the 2-16s, the 4-21s, the 8-8s of the
Yes,
world,
yes.
the guys the jobbers of the world, the guys that are out there to make a paycheck and get beat. No, they're not bad fighters. They're just not good fighters.
No.
They do a job, and their job is to go out there and give you a fight and lose. And they're not taking a dive.
Well, I mean, they're not trying to lose, I don't think. I mean, you can get upset, but
their role is to give you a fight and lose.
Yeah.
Like they're not supposed to win. They're supposed
Right.
to give you a fight but lose. And Jake Paul, and that type of, he's the type, he needs media attention. He needs eyeballs.
yeah.
And fighting a guy who's 8-44 at the local boxing association's gym
Yeah.
for 200 people doesn't put eyeballs on your brand. And
All right, who's
so
this bum we're going to get? Yeah, you're fighting a bum.
And it's, you fight losers, you fight bums, you fight jobbers, you fight never was and has beens for 10
Yeah.
years to build a reputation that you can go out there and do the job. And that's when you start making money. But for a guy like Jake Paul, he doesn't want to. He has to take the Mike Tyson fight. He has to make the Anthony Joshua fight because he doesn't want to pay his dues, and paying your dues doesn't pay the bills. He has
So I like Anthony Joshua.
He should have never fought Joshua. That fight should have never been made.
No, you're right.
Match. He knew it was going to be a shit show from the jump. From moment one, I knew that fight should have never been made. There was absolutely no reason those two should have been in the ring together.
No.
I knew that Joshua was going to kill him. Like, he's got 4 inches on him and 50, 60 pounds. Joshua was a proper heavyweight. Yep. Jake Paul's a cruiserweight, 192,
King Kong.
And that's a fight that should have never been sanctioned.
Right.
And as a fight fan, I knew it was going to be a shit show. I knew it was going to be terrible.
So you had to fight a turd.
And, and it's the unfortunate thing is that people don't want to watch boring boxing.
No, of course not.
It's a 2-minute punch out, and you got 10 2-minute punch outs because everybody's trying to figure out where they belong in the world of boxing, and it's a shit show.
Yeah. Although I do like Olympic boxing though. I mean, you never know what can come out of that. I mean, today's Olympic boxers might be tomorrow's world champions.
And as cool as Olympic boxing is, it doesn't pay the bills,
Well, not right away, no.
And you can't. It's hard to be an Olympic boxer. To put in the time, the effort to be an Olympic boxer, you have to have some kind of other stable source of income. Because you can't.
No, yeah, I was looking it up, guys. My best friend, his dad is a huge boxing fan,
Okay.
and he has gloves autographed by Ray Boom Boom Mancini because
Boom
Mancini
boom.
from that, and he, if you guys don't know him, Kim
I
Duck Ho
oh
died 4 days after their 14th
oh that fight.
bout.
Oh boy,
He
there was a
suffered.
lot of talk about that after that about boxing should have been banned out of that because I remember I didn't see the fight live, but I remember what happened after that. It was like I was like a complete shock. Like how could this happen? I mean I know they didn't mean to kill him, but to see somebody die after getting knocked down in a fight, I mean that scared the hell out of me.
Yeah,
I'm
it
like
says he
wow,
suffered severe brain
brain
trauma,
damage.
collapsed after and died 4 days later from
Yeah,
complications from that match. But I remember talking to my best friends then. We went to New York and we visited him in Queens, and he said that he's like, yeah, he goes, "Do you know who Boom Boom Mancini is?" And I said, "No, I don't."
I do.
And he goes, "Look him up." And of course, when you look him up, that pops up. That
Yeah.
immediately pops up. Is that and I watched a documentary on HBO before the ESPN 30 for 30s came out, and he talked about that he still to this day on the anniversary of that match every year he goes into like solitude by himself because he still regrets, he still feels responsible to this day for his
Yeah,
death.
I'm sure.
So yeah, but again, I mean, that comes with any sport. I mean, when you have something like boxing or excuse me, UFC, you're unfortunately that's the side effects of
Or the May.
being in combat sports. So,
Yeah,
It's a sacrifice.
yep.
it's hard,
Well, and we've talked about it too, guys. Any sport you play. I mean,
Yeah,
NASCAR, we lost Dale Sr.
Mm.
In IndyCar, we lost. Why can I never remember the guy's name?
Dan Weldon.
Thank you, Dan Weldon in
Oh,
Las
right.
Vegas.
Yeah,
So and then that's just. I mean, we almost lost Damar Hamlin for crying out loud. You know,
Yeah,
right.
God miracle that he was able to be. He's able to play football again, which is just a miracle on its own. Um,
exactly.
to do
Remember that
that,
night?
that's part of
Yeah,
the risk that you take. Putting your gloves
but
on and going in there because you don't know.
any
What
kind of contact, being
right.
involved in any kind of contact sport.
Right.
Correct. Yep. Yep. Yeah, because I mean, you're looking at football, basketball, hockey, any of them,
Mm-hmm.
you could die.
Mm-hmm.
At any point you suffer a concussion or some kind of brain contusion, a hit to the head. Yeah,
Okay.
easily could be dead.
Yeah.
Brad Lou will probably remember the name. Who was it that got his throat slit? It's a goalie for the Sabres.
Well,
I watched that. I watched that
Hasek?
YouTube clip all the time.
Dominic Hasek?
No,
It
no.
wasn't Hasek. Uh-uh.
No.
Clint Macho, Clint
Oh, right.
Marchuk.
Right. I don't think I saw that
Yep.
game, but I heard about it.
Mm,
March 22nd, 1989.
Mm.
During play, St. Louis forward Steve Tuttle, Sabres defenseman Ia Krupp collided and crashed in the Mariners
mm.
goal crease, bringing Tuttle's skate blade
I
up to
think
his.
I've heard that. I think I heard about that.
Crew.
The
Yeah.
injury was 6 inches, cut completely severe to his jugular vein, and partially cut his carotid artery. Immediately, the team on that trainer was a former Army combat medic. Rushed to
Oh
the
boy.
ice, pinched the blood vessel directly inside the room, refusing to let it go until doctors stabilized him at the hospital.
Oh.
He lost 1.5 liters of blood. Holy cow.
Came back
Well, there wasn't anything
10
else.
days later.
Yeah, 1.5 liters of blood.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
a 2-liter bottle of soda and then do half, or almost, or basically
Mm.
three-quarters
Three
of it.
quarters.
That's what
Three
he
quarters.
was. what he lost.
basically that much of a 2-liter bottle left.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
That's dangerous to think how close to
Yeah.
death he was.
Yeah.
Too close.
Yeah.
How close to death he
Mhm.
was. Oh, you
Yeah.
know, I coulda did that. Now I feel bad. I actually have a friend of mine who was a female boxer for a while, and I should have had her come on and talk to us.
Yeah, I should have. Bummer. Next
And
time.
I've had her on. I've had her on before a long time ago.
Mm,
Her
Well,
name
I
is
joined-
Mimi Vasquez. If you want to look her up,
okay.
she's won some regional titles. I don't think anything major, but she's retired now. She's her and her manager, I think, are married and enjoying retirement.
That's cool.
She still, I think, runs. I think she still runs a boxing class and exercise classes. Is what she does now for a living. I didn't even think of that. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't even think
Oh,
of
that's
it.
okay. No, it happens. No big deal.
Try to
Yeah,
contact her. Well, maybe in the future, if we ever do this again, I'll have her come on and we can interview her, so you can
That
talk
would be
to her
fun. That'd be fun.
about it.
I miss boxing. It's
Can we
so
get
much
Michael
fun.
Buffer to introduce her? Just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, the funny thing about her is the first time I interviewed her, I said, "How do you pronounce your first and last name?" Because I definitely don't want to go on and not pronounce your name correctly. And she goes,
No.
"My first name is Noemi, so no Emmy, like an Emmy award. So just say no Emmy." I said, "Oh,
No, I mean,
that's easy." You know,
okay.
and last name is Bosquez. Vasquez is how she pronounces her
Johnny
last
Vasquez.
You know what I mean?
name. So
That's easy.
yeah, like I said,
Easy
she's
enough.
more of a regional boxer than
No, that's cool.
in the States
I-
than she was.
Right.
She was never a heavyweight champion, and not like a Ali or I forget the girl, the boxing that they just made with Sydney Sweeney. What was that
Yeah.
boxer's name? Hang on a minute, let me look that up. They just made a movie with, well, I'm a Sydney Sweeney fan, so any movie that she's in, I tend to watch it.
Right.
I'll Miss Euphoria.
Ah,
Let's see. Christy Martin was the boxer I'm
oh
thinking.
yeah.
She
Mm.
was the one that almost got killed by her husband, who was also her manager.
That's right.
Her husband almost killed her, I think, if I'm
What
not
a
mistaken.
jerk. What a
Shot her
jerk.
a couple times. I think that way. The movie's good. If you ever want to watch it, it's pretty good. Sydney did a pretty good job of playing her, and there was a ESPN documentary about her too. I've watched both, and so I've watched both of them. But yeah, that's definitely. I mean, while we're on that topic, I'm just gonna do this right now.
There you go.
Let's see. We could be talking. Let's see. Since we're talking about movies and everything, I'm gonna look this up. So the top 25 best ranked boxing movies.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 25 is The Champ, 1979.
Yeah.
That was a John Voight movie, very young John Voight. Voight.
And young Ricky Schroeder.
Yep. Wow, that's considered a box. Oh, I guess it is considered a boxing movie. Okay. Real Steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Real Steel.
Well,
I forgot
actually
that
like
was
that
kind of a boxing movie. It was a boxing movie.
Robot boxing. Yes.
Robot boxing. Yeah.
Like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
right.
Yeah. The Harder They Fall, 1956.
Yes.
Never seen it.
Humphrey Bogart was in that movie.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, sweetheart.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Number 22 was Requiem for a Heavyweight, 1962.
Heard of that?
Seen it.
The next one was Golden Boy, 1939. About
That's
the
an old
golden age
movie.
of boxing, the golden age of Hollywood.
Right. Yes.
Number 20 is Jungle Land, 2019.
Oh
Never
yeah.
heard.
Flop.
Number 19 is Chuck, 2016. Lee Shriver plays heavyweight boxer Chuck Wepner, if I'm pronouncing that last name correctly.
I think I've heard of that one.
Number 18 is Somebody Up There Likes Me, 1956. Paul Newman was in that
Okay.
one.
Oh yeah.
Ali, that's one of my favorite boxing
Right,
movies,
Sure.
Okay.
2001.
Here.
Cinderella Man, we were talking about that
Mhm.
earlier, 2005. Number 15 is Body and Soul, 1947,
Hmm.
about fighter John Garfield.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Number 14 is called Fat City, 1972. Jeff Bridges,
Yes.
a very young.
Oh,
Young
young Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 13 is The Boxer, 1997. Daniel Day-Lewis is in that one, which
Okay.
I have to say, there's not really too many bad Daniel Day-Lewis movies. Just don't.
No.
Well,
No.
Last of the Mohicans is my all-time favorite with him in it.
yes.
Number 12, Denzel Washington, The Hurricane. That was a good
Okay.
movie
Ruben
too.
Hurricane Carter. Yeah.
About him being put in jail for murder and then they get him out. Yeah.
Bob Dylan did an epic song about it too.
Number 11 is The Survivor 2021 about
Okay.
Ben Foster plays Harry Haft, who was in a a concentration camp in Auschwitz. Number 10 is Tyson, 2008, about Mike. No, number 9 is one of my favorite boxing movies, $1 Million Baby.
I was
Oh,
wondering where that was
yes,
going to end up.
Great movie.
Yep. That movie at the end, if you don't cry when he does what he does, but it puts her out of pain, you know what I mean? Like she was in pain, you know what I mean? Number 8 is Girl Fight 2000. Now, Michelle Rodriguez, I've never heard of that one before. That's something I've never heard.
One I don't know.
Number 7 is The Fighter with Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
About Mickey what was his name? We talked about him.
Mickey Ward?
Mickey Ward, thank you.
Okay.
Number 6 is Cutie and the Boxer 2013. Never heard of that movie either. So never heard of that one.
That's a clean B movie for us too.
Number 5 is The Setup 1949.
Okay.
About Robert Ryan was the boxer in there.
Okay.
Number 4 is When We Were Kings, 1996.
Oh yeah.
Featuring George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Rumble in the Jungle.
Sure.
Right.
That. Wow, that one ranks number 3. Creed, the very first Creed movie, 2015. Is number 3.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, all right.
Rocky is the first Rocky movie, 76 is number 2. Anybody want to take a shot at what number 1 would be?
Rocky 2? No.
Rocky 2.
Yeah, right. No. Raging Bull.
The Raging Bull, you are correct. 1980 with Robert De Niro. Martin Scorsese. Scorsese is the one who directed that movie.
Martin Scorsese. Yes, he is.
He's still alive too.
Yeah, I know.
Robert De Niro both are still alive.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Martin does score easy, doesn't he? Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Do you know what? Now that I said that, this is going to sound weird. I've never seen that movie. I've never seen Raging Bull.
Yeah, me neither.
I have.
Never seen that movie.
Actually, it was one of my dad's favorite movies. That's how I got into it.
I've seen a lot of the movies on that list. Some of those I've never even heard of, so I wouldn't know that they were even.
Well, they were made way before our time, and or they were just B movies. I guess they include that now too.
No, you're right, Louis. You're exactly right. It could be the fact that they were B movies.
Yeah,
that's why we never really heard of them. Well, I got to ask, because we're on the boxing topic, who is you guys' favorite boxer of all time? You guys go ahead, and I'll give you mine. But
who wants to go first?
Of all time?
I'll go first. My favorite boxer of all time is Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao.
Okay.
as a short guy who always fought in that, always I identify with him. You know, his background, his struggle coming up and bursting onto the mainstream and just being great from day one, being humble and being an all around good guy. You know, I've always loved Manny. Manny, he's the first boxer that I identified with. You know, like I
Mhm.
wasn't around for Foreman or Ali or Frazier or Tyson. And by the time I came along, Tyson's career was winding down. You know, Ali and Foreman, Frazier, Schmeling, Lewis, all those guys were long gone. You know, Manny Pacquiao was the first one to capture my imagination, make me want to be a fighter.
Mine's Ali.
Okay.
Mine's Ali. Watching again, I wrote some articles about, sporting events that happened before I was born, and the Rumble in the Jungle would be one that I would attend in person if I had been alive. Number one was the Miracle on Ice game. Two was the Rumble in the Jungle. Three was Borg McEnroe in a 1980 Wimbledon final, because I thought that was great. Those two were complete opposites in the tennis world. McEnroe was the,
Ball was out. What are you nuts?
yeah,
That ball was out.
McEnroe was
Sorry.
the, cussing out umpires, and Borg
Of
was
course.
never showed emotion. So those Ali was my favorite, but you can't Manny Pacquiao. I mean, crying out loud,
Yeah.
and he became a mayor or a governor of whatever country
Governor.
he's in. Yeah,
Senator from the Philippines.
yeah.
You said it right.
And I didn't correct me if I'm
Pac-Man.
wrong. Wasn't he scheduled to have another fight coming up, and
Yeah.
it got canceled?
Yes.
I thought Pacquiao had one more fight.
They talked about
scheduled.
him coming back to fight Mayweather for a second time
Okay.
because he lost the first one,
Correct.
and they've been talking about it for a while now, and I think it was at one point it was a done deal, but I don't know. Yeah, it looks like they're scheduled to fight and they're scheduled to. Okay, it's been indefinitely postponed. They were originally scheduled to fight on September 19th of this year. So they moved it. They pushed it back to next year.
Well, that'll be a fight that I'll watch too.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, I'm wondering now. I mean, they're on streaming, right? They're on like Netflix and all of them, right? Now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it was scheduled for Netflix, but there was a legal dispute between the camps over money.
What a shock.
CSI Sports.
I was gonna say, what a shock. The almighty dollar.
CSI Sports is suing the Mayweather camp in a civil suit due to the Mayweather. In June of this year, Mayweather was named as a defendant in a civil lawsuit filed by CSI Sports events in the Southern District of New York. The lawsuit alleged breach of contract in relation to a proposed exhibition bout against former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson in a potential professional rematch with Pacquiao. So they were originally scheduled to fight in September, but that has been postponed, and no makeup date has been announced yet. It's right now rumored probably next year, but that'll all depend on how the lawsuit goes and when that gets settled. And I mean, I don't know. I don't like old people boxing.
No.
And by the time this fight gets underway, Mayweather's going to be 50 and Pacquiao's going to be 48 something.
In boxing, I think in boxing you can collect Social Security with that, can't you? Oh, okay.
In boxing years, you're dead.
Yep.
And
What is your
as
what
much
is
as
your guys' opinion on Canelo Alvarez?
I
On,
love
on
Canelo. I love Canelo.
What
I'm a
about
huge
Triple
Canelo
G?
guy.
what about
Love
Triple
Triple
C?
G.
Yeah, but there's boxing I think it was Triple G, but I like
Love them both. They're both
I'm
great.
sorry, you're right. It's Triple G, not Triple C.
yeah,
What the heck are you talking
Triple
about?
G.
It is Triple G. Yeah.
I like both of them.
Yeah,
Club-
I do too.
And
I think
I'm not against heavyweights, but I think lightweights. I think featherweights put on better fights.
I think
Smaller
middleweights
guys
do.
put on I think smaller guys put on better fights. I know heavyweights are a bigger draw, but I like technical boxing.
Mm,
I'm down to watch two big guys stand in the center of the ring and beat the hell out of each other just like anybody else.
yeah,
But as someone who loves the sweet science, who loves boxing and just for the pure sport of it, for the pure sport
yeah,
of boxing, I like I like smaller guys. Give me short guys that know what they're doing. Because big guys have this tendency to hug because they're big.
yeah,
And both guys have tremendous power. And you know, it's very rare you see two big guys stand in the center of the ring and just beat the hell out of each other.
right.
Little guys will. Little guys will knock each other right senseless. And as someone who likes, I like a good punching contest.
Sure.
And with big guys, heavyweights, you end up you tend to see more clinching, more holding,
Yeah,
and looking to set up one shot. Little guys just go in there and punch because you got to because you got to score points because you don't have with guys
military.
with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury and um Deontay Wilder and those types.
Yeah.
You have one punch knockout power and the
Uh-huh.
Klitschko's of the world. And don't get me wrong, they're
Let's
great fighters.
go.
They're great fighters, but they're not great boxers because neither one of the guys wants to give the other. If you have a Klitschko versus a Wilder or Wilder versus Fury or Anthony Joshua versus um Ortiz, whose first name escapes me now. But they're each looking to set up one shot. With smaller guys, you just go in there and you punch because you don't have that fear of the one punch knockout and getting whopped upside the head and being done. You're more
Yeah.
technical, you throw more punches, you get more involved. That's what I loved about the Ward Gotti fights was it Ward Gotti?
Yes. Yep.
From the
Yeah.
early 2000s. No, I'll watch those fights any day of the week. You can give me Ward Gotti 7. Inject that right into my veins. I know, obviously, I think they're both gone now.
Well, Mickey Wardall, he thanked Gotti for that because that's what made him money. Those three matches were what made him in his boxing career. That's what made him the most money. He thanked Gotti a lot for those three
Yeah.
fights. I was going to talk. Antonio Tarver, who's from Orlando, Florida, just went into the Boxing Hall of Fame. He was inducted, I think, last month into the Hall of Fame, and he was down here doing local radio. Of course, he was in Rocky Balboa. He was the opponent for Rocky and Rocky Balboa.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get a chance to watch Tarver when he was in the ring. I know he was pretty good. I think he's now a boxing coach. He's got a lot of young boxers who he's molding. I think that's cool too. I think if you're gonna, you've gone through your career and you still want to do it and you want to give the future generation of the sport an opportunity to do it, I'm all for that. I'm all for that for them training each other and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. If any of the boxers like that still want to go ahead and stay on their craft,
Yeah,
but
no,
they know they can't get anymore because the age factor.
yeah, the guy that I trained with, he was an old regional fighter. I just couldn't do it. I was too my car wreck, my ankle just wouldn't let me move like I needed to move.
Right. Yeah.
And and I had no intentions of being a fighter. I just wanted to get in there and hit somebody, and I wasn't really I
Beat
didn't
the
really
crap
want
out
to
of
train. I didn't really want to train. I just wanted to go punch people. Like I
Yeah.
had no delusions. I had no delusions of making a career out of it. I just wanted to train and have some and and hit somebody and and it just wasn't it was too expensive too.
Yeah.
It was too expensive to do endless running and jump rope for and my kick myself because I loved it. I had so much fun doing it. So if I'd done it 10 years before before I got hurt, I might have been able to have something. I might have had it. I might have been able to turn it into a career and do something with it. But with my ankle the way it is, and with the tendons in my ankle being all jacked up, I can't move and I can't run like you need to be you need to be a professional fighter. You have to be
Right.
able to run. You have to be able to jump rope and do cardio and ride. Like I can ride a stationary bike, uh, but running a mile in 10 minutes is just it's hard. And with
Yeah.
my ankle the way that it is, so I ended up having to give it. I ended up giving it up. Plus, on top of that was the money, and I just couldn't afford it every month, and it was and without having a solid income and knowing that I was going to be able to turn it into something, it just wasn't worth it. So I ended up walking away from it after a couple of months
Mhm.
because I just couldn't do it anymore. But I had
Mhm.
fun while I was doing it.
I know it's good exercise. I know a lot of people that are trying to lose weight will go in and start doing it. Trying to think of, was it a YouTuber? I don't remember who it was that I know that went in and started boxing to lose weight and lost like 30 or 40 pounds because, like you said, you have to be able to run and move and do cardio and jump rope. And if you can do all that, you're going to lose weight. Again, though, the only thing with it is if you get away from it, you get all the weight back. You know what I mean? You have to stick with that regiment.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I've heard it's good exercise. I mean, that's what I've heard for a lot of people say, oh, you want to lose weight? Just join a boxing class. You'll lose it
yeah,
because you're going to be you're going to be moving around. You're going to be jumping rope, which I don't think I've ever been able to do. So that would be interesting on me to be, but it is cool how boxers can do that like that
Yeah.
quickly. Or doesn't even look like they're even jumping. They're just bam, 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 boom, and then they throw the rope. So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I've seen many training monologues and movies, but also showing, watching enough boxing documentaries or sports documentaries, but boxing in general, watching them train and get prepared and all that stuff. So, but like I said earlier, I am looking forward to Joshua Fury later this
mm,
year. I will watch that fight.
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
we can when that gets closer, we can go ahead and do a preview on that and give
Is
our
there a date for
yeah,
opinion
that fight
on
yet?
absolutely.
how
Is there a
that
date for that
match.
yet?
Let me look, Luke, because I think the
In
last time we
October?
talked about it, they haven't. They had. I don't think they announced one yet.
I didn't think so either. Hmm.
Let's see, Joshua Fury.
Touchdown.
Well, they have signed a contract targeted for November 2026.
November.
November.
Okay.
Okay.
So we got roughly what 3
3
months,
months.
3 months or so, something like that. Yeah,
Just in time for Thanksgiving.
watch it be on that day because it's remember they're they're
Yeah,
English, so they don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
True. True.
it'll probably be that Saturday.
Yeah. The
It'll be
28th.
rivalry Saturday in college football.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not a bad weekend to have it.
Not at
Yeah.
all.
You got lots of eyeballs tuned in.
That
Yeah.
probably would be the best time to do it, Black Friday. But or, I mean,
Sure.
I'm sorry, the day after Black Friday. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Saturday. Do it that Saturday. Not a bad time to do it because you got all those eyeballs tuning in for college football,
Right.
Mhm.
pro football, and people are off of work. They got that whole weekend. You got the,
Unless you're working them all.
well, you got that whole weekend off. You got lots of people with that whole weekend off with nothing to do.
Yeah, all the people that work retail, that sucks that time of the year.
Sorry, folks.
All retail
Okay.
workers, I feel bad for.
It's our busy time.
I know, I've done it.
That's when we make our money, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Longer days and longer nights.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think if I would really heavily consider that weekend.
Yeah, hopefully that's
Or-
when it happens. That last, I think, because I
Or
think
the
that's the
weekend
last
now because there's.
Saturday of the month.
Oh wait.
That'd be
Yeah,
the last
the last
Saturday of the
Saturday.
month.
And
And then we have what? Then I think it's championship in college football the week after.
Yeah, the week after.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Army Navy. And Army
the
Navy's
week
not
after that.
after
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, pick your poison. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing you wouldn't hope for is if the UFC doesn't have some big major pay-per-view that weekend too.
They
Where
might
they go
want
out
to
and say,
try counterpart with that,
Conor McGregor, so it won't be Conor McGregor because he just announced with his knee surgery, so that ain't gonna
Okay.
happen.
Good.
But some big fight like that would happen that weekend where they like, oh, so boxing's gonna have this. Well, we're gonna have our match this weekend too. So hopefully it doesn't happen that way. So
Yeah.
They don't have a schedule out that far yet. So
okay,
then the next scheduled UFC event, or the latest scheduled UFC event, is October 2017.
okay,
So probably within the next few weeks we'll be getting the November schedule.
Yes.
for UFC.
Yeah. Because we got UFC 330 coming up in next week. Next Saturday.
330. Wow.
Yep.
Where's it being? Is it at?
Oh, where it be? It'd be at a place.
Yeah.
Doing things. Doing the punching and the kicking. Phoenix, Philly. We got
Okay.
Philly, Las Vegas, Sacramento, Las Vegas, China, Las Vegas, Paris, Las Vegas, Glendale, Las Vegas,
Paris, Texas.
Los Angeles, and then the next four are all in Vegas, and then Canada. We all know, blame Canada.
Yes. Terrence and Phillip. Morons.
So yeah, like you said, it would really suck if there was a UFC event that weekend. But
they might want. Well, you think about it, they might want to try and challenge that. The counterpart to go up against it. So
no,
I
wouldn't. I wouldn't want to put up.
No, I wouldn't personally, but I think the company would.
I think they're smarter than that because most companies don't want to challenge the UFC. Most in combat sports, like I don't think the NFL gives two shits about the UFC.
No.
The UFC can do whatever they're gonna do, but like a fight, like brands don't want to compete with each other in their own arena. Like you don't want to be fighting for the same eyeballs if you don't have to. You don't want to be fighting.
Right.
You don't want to be fighting for the same dollars.
You're right.
If you don't have to. It's like you don't see bands in the same. You don't see like I don't know, Metallica and Judas Priest in the same, and unless they're at the same arena, you don't see them in the same cities on the same night.
That make a great double bill.
Because you don't want fans having to decide between you and the other guy, because it hurts both of you. So it's just a mutual respect thing in the industry, and in this sense, same thing in the fight world, and in the combat sports world. You don't want to fight. You don't want to be stepping on each other's toes, because you want the respect.
That's true.
You want the respect given back to you. So
Yep.
if you talk to because I know these people all know each other. They all talk. They all work together, and they have these massive TV contracts. Everybody's got to get paid, and neither brand wants to hurt the other, because they don't, because they if UFC wants to, if boxing wants to book that weekend, they're going to talk to the other promotions that might be looking to do something on that weekend and ask them, hey, can we have this weekend? We'll give you Christmas, or we'll give you New Year's. You can have that weekend if we can have this weekend, because this is our fighters are going to be ready on this weekend. So if we can have that weekend, we appreciate that. And then UFC goes, hey, we want Valentine's weekend. We want, maybe they'll give UFC gives boxing Thanksgiving weekend, so that UFC can later on down the road in 2027 have St. Patrick's Day weekend. It's those types of things that these people are very conscious of when it comes to scheduling these types of things, so they don't step on each other's toes, so they don't lose out on potential revenue, because UFC doesn't, boxing doesn't want to step on UFC's toes, so that UFC doesn't step on their toes.
Right.
It's a mutual respect thing, because both sides know that they're in the same industry, and they're the same kind. They appeal to the same kind of people, so they want to make sure that both audiences are available.
Yes.
Well, remember too, the fight's in England, which is 6 hours ahead of us in time zone.
Yeah, true.
So
it could be in England. They're also talking about Madison Square Garden.
Are they okay? So we're talking about them. Okay.
I can see that.
And if and it's another thing about venuing and whatever else has if somebody else has asked for that potential venue. Oh, Wembley, they may end up somebody else may book up Madison Square Garden. They have to think about the Rangers could be in town.
Yeah.
And if the Rangers are in town, is Madison Square Garden going to be available? If the Rangers aren't in town, is like back in the day, the circus was in town, so the Rangers had to go, and this is what, 36, 37, 35, something like that. And Ringling Brothers was in town, so the Rangers had to play a Stanley Cup final game. And I think they ended up shifting it back to Chicago.
Something like that.
Well, would you also have the chance of the Knicks being there also?
The Knicks could be in town too, yeah.
In November.
So
that has happened before with that.
So it's a potential, it's all those scheduling things that everybody in all of those worlds, that they're going to have to work with each other to make sure that there's no scheduling conflicts. There's no and again, like I said, it's the mutual respect thing that leagues try to, you courtesy, it's respect, it's courtesy, and because like if the Rangers are going to be in town or the Knicks are going to be in town, then boxing is going to look elsewhere, with the understanding that if there's, if things change, or, if dates free up, then a later date will be available for them to use the facilities. Because it's if the Rangers are in town or the Knicks are in town, then obviously it's not going to be available.
Right.
Unless it may be one of those things where the Rangers have an afternoon game. They play at 1 o'clock so that they can get the stadium turned around for boxing at 7 or 8. You know,
Yeah, it looks like too that there was a Dublin's Croke Park has been
okay,
rolled out for November. That's an outdoor option, so that wouldn't
okay,
be indoor in like Wembley. Well, Wembley would be outside too, but if
yeah,
I
Right.
mean,
yeah. I think Wembley in London in November. It could be pretty cold in London in November. So
I was just about to say
And
that.
I thought too. Mm.
Yeah, I was just about to say, what is the weather like in England in November? It
A
can't
lot
be.
of fog.
it won't be. It's probably in South England in November, late November. And you could have snow.
Let's take a look. Let's see.
My phone, my backup ones needed an update, so of course I had to do it now.
In November. Let's see. Cold, damp, and wintry. Daytime high temperatures average 50 to 54, and in the south, 43 to 48. Nighttime drops to 37 to 45. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that
That's
wouldn't
cold.
be ideal to have a boxing match outdoors at night. Because it'd be 37 degrees. That's, I mean, remember how they battled the heat in Rumble in the Jungle? It's the complete opposite. And then again,
Yeah.
you don't want to do that because your boxers now are using energy to stay warm instead of
Right.
boxing. So that wouldn't make any sense.
No.
But
Yeah.
can they close? Does Wembley have a roof? I don't know. I
I
don't
don't think
know
so. I'm
if
not
they do
sure.
or
They
they don't.
might have. Last I knew, they didn't. But they might have done like what Mercedes-Benz and that's the stadium out in Arizona. They may have a retractable dome that they can close now.
Yes, yes.
I'm not sure. Have to look it up.
Let me
But
see if Wembley Stadium
go
has
ahead.
that capability. Let's see if it tells me. Let's see.
Should be a good one.
Does Wembley? Oh, there we go. Yes, Wembley Stadium has a partial roof. Excuse me, that covers every single spectator seat, all 97,000, but never covers the pitch. So I don't know what that means.
That's the field. That's the field. The grass.
Right.
Well, what I mean by that is, if obviously the ring will be on the pitch most likely.
Right.
So I don't still get wet if rain falls at an angle, leaves the playing field completely open to air and sunlight.
Right.
Okay.
With them,
I guess if
unless they had a date, they might have an afternoon bout.
Yeah.
They may, instead of it being the traditional 11 o'clock go, they may have a midday. They may go at 5 o'clock instead of the typical 11 o'clock like you see here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's only that's of course the reckless speculation part of the show.
If they go 5 p.m. their time, it would be 11 a.m. our time.
Correct.
So that'd be like a get up and grab breakfast real quick, get ready, or if you're an early riser, have breakfast already done and get ready for lunch at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it's brunch time, man. It's brunch time fights, man.
Brunch. There you go. Brunch. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Especially on Saturday and Sundays. Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, okay. Okay, so here's what this is the write up that I found. So they're expecting the announcement at the end of the month. And originally planned for Wembley Stadium, the mega fight has encountered a major venue shift, with New York's iconic Madison Square Garden having emerged as the front runner to host the bout. This potential move stems from demands by Saudi boxing chief Turk Al-Sheikh. I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but close enough. And broadcasting partner Netflix to stage the fight during prime time in the States. Wembley's strict 11 p.m. curfew has made hosting a 2 a.m. UK time slot logistically unfeasible. Organizers have also considered a rare Friday night scheduling to avoid high-profile weekend broadcasting clashes in the U.S.
Could be Black Friday.
Could be.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, but it's looking like they're going to move to Madison Square Garden. So I mean, not that it's not a bad place to hold a fight, not a
Not at
bad
all.
place to hold a
Not
fight.
at all.
Let me look real quick and look at New York Rangers. If I can
I've
spell
been to
Rangers.
MSG.
I'm pretty sure the schedule is out at this point. I should be right.
Yes.
Schedule September, October, November. Understand. So they are at home on the 28th, and it's
Okay.
scheduled for 7 p.m. So they're off weekend. They're not playing. They have a break between. So it would have to be the 21st because they don't have a game on the 21st. So now let's look at the Knicks. Schedule. They don't have a schedule. Okay. Would have thought that the schedule would have been out already.
I would think so, but maybe the
Not
NBA
yet. It's
hasn't had
not.
their
It's
schedule
not
come
out
out yet.
yet. So that's probably what they're waiting on is the NBA to release its official schedule.
Yeah. Well,
So,
yeah. So the Rangers are there on rivalry Saturday.
correct.
College football? Okay.
Correct.
So they have a home
So
game. Okay.
they have it. Yep. And it's scheduled for 7 p.m. Now, of course, that game could be moved, or they could shift that game earlier in the day. They can move that game up to 1 o'clock if everything comes together. We're still far enough out that game can be shifted
Mm-hmm.
to an earlier time slot. Make that a 1 o'clock game. But the 2 weekends before that are all 3 weekends before that are available, and of course the NBA hasn't released their schedule yet. I would have thought they would have, but
Let me see. When do they? Hold on, man. Let's look real quick.
so in a couple of days, in the same mid-August.
Okay. August 10th. 4 days from today. It'll be out.
So once that schedule is officially released, then we'll know what the dates in November look like for the Knicks, and that'll give us potential. That'll give us a potential schedule for the Fury fight, Fury Joshua.
Which that'll be. I mean, that's pretty cool that it's going to be over here. Because I know they're both from England, and I thought they wanted to try to keep it, there. But obviously, there's no way in hell they can do that in that weather in England that time of the year.
And with the fact that they want to do it, they want to keep the traditional prime time American slot. A 2 o'clock fight start is not really feasible.
No.
Right. Yeah, that is. Yeah, see that's the whole thing too. So they have to they have to condone to the U.S. sport. That's
Hmm.
interesting too, to say the least. That they have to have it set up for us as well. So yeah,
Well, you know, the it's where they make their money. You know, they want
correct.
American
That's
eyeballs on it. They want American.
Yeah, like I said too, they're gonna have to schedule it when a lot of the U.S. eyeballs will be, up or, I
Available.
know
Yeah.
yeah.
sometimes too. I think it's a little ridiculous during the NFL season where they have a game on at 9 a.m. and then of course that's 6 a.m. in California. So
Right.
And
that's
for in Hawaii.
possible. Yeah, impossible. If you live on the West Coast and you want to say your team is playing, you got to get up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday if you're not working and be able to get up and watch the game. That's yeah, that's rough. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
but then again too, if that happens and then you have Pacquiao Mayweather next year, that'll be good. That'll be good for boxing to bring some of the bigger
Yes.
names back, bigger names back. So yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Because like you said earlier, but that's the big thing that you don't have. You don't have the big names. The Tysons, the Alis, the
Hmm.
Fraziers, the Pacquiaos, that type of thing. They're not in there anymore, so it's hard to follow. It's hard to follow boxing when you don't have a big draw, for that. So yeah,
They're,
all the boxing fans, it'll bring that back at least for a little while to put eyeballs on boxing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
yeah. Yep.
Because, like Lou said, unfortunately earlier, that UFC has taken away all
I
the
did say that.
limelight away from it. Um, and again, they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
that the the pop well you have the rise of the kung fu movies in the 60s and 70s, and you have all those you have all those guys talk shit about how their martial art was so much better than other martial arts, and
Hmm.
and you have the Gracies in the early UFC one in 1993 when they burst onto the scene, and you have all of with the own no with three rules, the 30 minutes, go until there's a tap out or a death, go to submission or death, no eye gouges, no dick punching, and that's it. Those are and if anything else goes. May
Hmm.
the best art win. And boxing, once you go to the ground, boxing is it's useless.
Right. Yeah.
If you get taken to the ground, boxing is useless. So boxing
Yeah.
didn't cross over to mixed martial arts. So
Hmm.
even if you were a great striker, if you were a great stand-up fighter, when you get into a mixed martial arts contest against a grappler or a wrestler, a jiu-jitsu or Greco-Roman or anything, any kind of wrestling techniques, you lose. And so boxing, and with big names moving over to UFC, guys like Ken Shamrock and Chuck Liddell and Daniel Cormier and Daddy Pimblin,
Mm.
however you say his stupid name. God, you know who I'm talking about.
Hey,
What's the
Pinwin. Yeah.
name?
Those guys who 20, 30, 40 years ago would have wouldn't have had a career because there was no mixed martial arts. They now have a career. Got McGregor and Max Holloway. I saw a guy wearing a Max Holloway T-shirt yesterday.
Ugh.
They just whereas 20 years ago there was no outlet for them. 30 years ago there was no outlet for them. If you wanted to
No.
be in combat sports, you were either a boxer or you were a boxer. That was it.
Mm.
Or you did like karate, and there was no market. There was you
yeah.
do karate, you did local karate tournaments, or you went over to Japan and did karate and you chopped boards, and everyone went, ooh, that's cool. And there was no demonstration, and with the ride, and now you have boxing just doesn't translate to the mixed martial arts world nearly as well as jiu-jitsu, whether it's Brazilian or Japanese, or any
No.
any type of the Japanese arts like karate or kung fu, whatever word you want to use, BJJ, whether it's Japanese jiu-jitsu or Brazilian jiu-jitsu or anything like that. If you get taken to the ground as a boxer, you lose. Because early in mixed martial arts, there were lots of boxers who tried to do MMA and just gonna go out there and prove that boxing was the best martial art. Boxers were better than the grapplers and the wrestlers. And what
Right.
ended up happening is that if you could strike, if you could get a strike in, you could survive a minute or two. But once you got taken to the ground, you were done because you didn't know what you were doing on the ground. And so guys that knew what they were doing on the ground were able to beat the boxers.
Right.
And so the boxers tucked their tails between their legs and went back to, or they became, or they got good at ground game, and so now they transitioned, and 30 years ago, in the 90s and early 2000s, people weren't just training boxing; they were training all of the arts. You needed to be of course, you needed some striking, but you also needed jiu-jitsu, you needed wrestling, you needed, Krav Maga, or
Mhm.
whatever martial art you wanted to practice. You had to be good at all of it. So and there was more, and when UFC blew up, the money moved from boxing to UFC, right? So now, 20 years on, the money that boxers were making. Now, don't get me wrong, Anthony Joshua made a ton of money in his last fight, but
Right.
what did Conor McGregor make? 12
30
million, 30 million, which is
30
5
million.
times what. Which, not to don't get me wrong, Anthony Joshua made himself a nice payday, but he didn't make $30 million. So,
30 million for 90 seconds.
and blowing out his knee to probably never never has to work again in his life if he doesn't want to. Never has to work again in his life if he doesn't want to.
And Max Holloway made 3 million. Now you tell me what's wrong with that picture. Just
Yeah.
Max is bad at math. You gotta negotiate better, my brother. You gotta negotiate better, man.
3 million in that fight. So won the fight,
No.
but only made 3 million.
Hey, he got $33 million and the win.
And the win.
And the win.
He's got that going for him. So and the fact is that boxers do, when I was training, and I don't know, I was told, so I was told when I was training, that you had to have 90 days off from your previous fight. So if you had a fight, it had to be 90 days in between fights. You couldn't schedule another fight it had to be a minimum 90 days in between fights. So it's 3 months. You had to be off for 3 months before you could schedule another fight. And then, of course, if you're off, if you get knocked out, it might take you a month before you're ready to go again, before you can even start
At
training.
least.
So if you get a concussion and it takes a month or it takes 2 months for you to get back to training, well, now you don't want to train for only a month. So you're
No.
that night, so if you fought on January 1st, you couldn't fight again until March 2nd. But if you got knocked out and you couldn't come back until if you didn't come back until March 2nd, If you
Mhm.
didn't get back into training until March 2nd, or would it be January, February, March? So yeah, probably April. You wouldn't schedule a fight in April. So you have to, because you don't want to go, you don't want to just train for a month for your next fight. You want at
Right.
least 6 to 8 weeks between for training camps. Get back in shape and get geared up and ready to go for your next fight. So if April's out, April, May, June. So you're probably not looking so you're looking at 5 or 6 months before your next fight, and it's really hard to build and sustain a brand, especially if you're fighting jobbers and nobodies and people that nobody cares about for
Mhm.
Right.
for 1,000 people at the Cineplex down the road from your gym.
Yeah.
It's a local sports complex and roller rink.
Yeah,
It's a
that was
jiffy.
converted into a boxing ring for that day.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday is just a Jiffy Quick Lube.
Uh-huh. That should be quick.
And and you're fighting out. No, you're fighting in the gymnasium, your local high school's gymnasium, in front of 250 people who you paid to be there. You paid them
Yeah.
who all paid $5 to be there, and they still want their money back.
Right.
You paid them all. Y'all paid them. You paid them $5 to be there, and they still want their money back. So
Mhm.
it's really hard. It's really hard to make a career as an up and comer. So it's hard, especially
Right.
without the Friday night fights, which I looked up, and they went away 11 years ago. They just kind of quietly went away in 2015. So ESPN isn't carrying fights on Friday nights, so it's hard to make a career, hard to make a living being a boxer.
Yeah.
Unless you're an
Mhm.
Anthony Joshua, a Deontay Wilder, an Adrian Broner, a Manny Pacquiao, a Tyson Fury, the guys the names that that boxing fans know, and even some of the casual sports fans might recognize Tyson Fury. They might recognize Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
They might know Pacquiao and Mayweather. Yeah, but who's the featherweight? Who's the WBC featherweight champion right now? Couldn't tell you.
No.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's hard unless you are like a die-hard boxing fan that know what's going on and what in every weight class. It's very, very hard to find out who the champs are and stuff like that. So yeah, that does make it hard.
Right
Same thing
now,
though with UFC. Unless you follow UFC all the way too. I couldn't tell you who the champs are.
right. So the
So
WBC featherweight title winner or title holder is Bruce Carrington. WBA is Brendan Figueroa. IBF is Angelo Leo, and the WBO is Rafael Es, Espen, de Espenzo. Spinzo.
Hmm.
And when was
Wow.
I'm just because he's the one with his last fight was in November. He hasn't fought
oh
since
wow.
November of last year.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Angelo Lee, his last fight. His last fight was in May of last year in Japan. Not that there's anything wrong with fighting in Japan, but it just shows you
There.
that the Brandon Figueroa. His last fight was in February of this year in Liverpool, and he won. And then the other Bruce Carrington, his last fight was January of this year. Oh, actually, he just fought back in July in Cleveland.
Okay.
But my point being is that they just don't. The boxing just doesn't capture the cultural zeitgeist like UFC does. In UFC, you have all arts are available, and with boxing you don't have that. You're not allowed to go to the ground. You're not allowed to wrestle.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to to take each other to the ground. And if you do, it's can be a disqualification. So
Mm-hmm.
and people want to see they want to see a striker versus a grappler versus a wrestler versus jiu-jitsu. It's just more for talking in the general, not the specific, because I much prefer boxing over a hug fest. But most people want to see every both. See the striker versus the wrestler. See the grappler versus the wrestler. That was my elbow. So
Right.
you have
Yeah.
so you don't have that kind of. You don't have that same thing like you did 30 years ago, where there was no UFC. And so if you wanted to watch two people beat the hell out of each other, you had to, it was either boxing or nothing. And now you have the UFC. So you have that option.
I was just looking that up, thinking of you guys were talking about, not being able to do certain things, and
Yeah.
the guy that I was thinking of always was Andrew Galata. He was always
Hmm.
a low
Yeah.
blow
Oh yeah.
tactics boxer from Poland. Um, and it was the fight against Riddick Bowe, two of them, where he hit him in the
We get a
got disqualified twice.
Mm-hmm.
Disqualified in round 7 in the first fight and round 9 in the second one. So yeah, um I was trying to remember what his name was because I remember
Yeah.
watching boxing documentaries and they talked about him, and it's a shame because I guess he was a pretty good boxer from Poland if he could have kept his head up,
He was great. He had both those fights won.
not yeah, that's right. If you go back and watch him, he had both those fights won on the cards, and he lost his shit and got disqualified in both
yeah.
fights.
Yep. Yep. He had both those fights won, but he chose to.
And I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, that his trainer, I forget, I think it was the same trainer for both 1 and 2 against Riddick Bowe, told
Yep.
him, like, what are you doing, man? Like, do you want to box or do you not want to do what you've trained to do? We trained you to beat him, and you're ahead on the cards, and you do something stupid like that and get
Yep.
disqualified.
Because he could
Yeah.
have,
Hey,
he
stupid.
didn't have to do that. That he
Uh-uh.
had the fight won, man.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
he was winning both fights.
Yep.
And
Correct.
it wasn't like I sympathize with Tyson in the Holyfield fight because Holyfield was headbutting him the whole time, the
Oh,
whole
the ear,
time. And
when he got his ear?
yeah, when he bit
Yeah.
Holyfield's ear off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously he shouldn't have done it, but I get it.
So do I, even though it's stupid.
It was stupid, but I get it. It's not like it was like it makes. But in the Galata Bowe fight, if okay, the first one I can say, the first time it was an accident. It was, you're trying to hit him low, you're trying to hit him in the stomach, trying to hit him on the hips, take his legs away from him. I get that. I get
Yeah.
that. But then to hit him again, and then again, and get disqualified, dumbass.
Well, Galata was 41-9-1 in his career with 33 knockouts. And he was
Yep.
knocked out 6 times in the 9 losses that he. Now, 2 of those were DQs in the Riddick Bowe fights. He lost to Riddick Bowe twice, Lennox Lewis, Michael Grant in 1999, John Ruiz, Lamont Brewster, and then he lost his last 3 fights that he's had. The last fight he had was in 2013, so he hasn't fought for 12 years, 13
Right.
years, which
Yeah.
it's okay because he's 50. He is how old is he? How old is Riddick? How old is Mr. Galata? He's 58. He didn't get in the ring
Right.
anytime soon.
58.
He might be training people now more than he would be getting in the ring with anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, yeah, you go back and watch the film on the 2 Riddick Bowe fights, and you're right. He had those fights on the card. He was ahead on every scorecard in both those fights, and just lost his head and got DQ'd. How cool would that be too to be a judge in a boxing
Oh,
match?
dude, that would be
That would
fun.
be cool.
Well, I don't know. Would you want the responsibility and that because they're gonna wind up hating you. So
It would be fun. It could be fun. It could be also like you're saying, it could be really terrifying because
yes,
like getting it wrong and having to
that's
live
exactly.
with it for the rest of your life and wondering if you made the right call and seeing it one way and everyone else seeing it a different way.
Like the umpire that Galarraga's perfect game, he called him safe. He'll never be able to live that. Is it Jim Joyce? He'll never be able to live that down. Ever.
I don't want to talk about it.
Kill the umpire.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, I know because it's
I have nothing constructive to
that was
say.
a Detroit Tiger game.
Right.
I have nothing constructive to say.
Right.
But no, and then getting it wrong or seeing it differently, and then other people, and having to defend yourself, for that, for however long you are in the you're in the world of boxing. You see it one way, and the other 2 judges see it a different way. Or you and 2 of the judges see it you and one of the other judges see it one way, and the 3rd judge sees it a different way, and having to figure out which one of you is right,
Mm-hmm.
And if you and then you have to make it's a judgment call, because boxing is, it's work rate, it's where the punch is landed. Like, and if you have a really bad fight where neither guy is really hitting each other, and then you have like you brought up Adrian Bronner and his fight with Manny Pacquiao, and he's gonna say, damn,
Yeah.
he's gonna choke to death my own saliva. Excuse me. And he's gonna say some dumb shit after the fight because he's mad. And I mean, I get it. I'm not saying, I understand where he's coming from. In terms of being a fighter, you're not gonna go out there like 99% of fighters aren't gonna, it's the rare ones that are humble in defeat. Most fighters are gonna be like, yeah, no, I won this fight. You watched the fight, I won this fight. Like, I'm not gonna sit here. I can't sit here in good conscience and criticize him for what he's saying. He's a dumbass. He's wrong, but I understand where he's coming from. He's wrong. He didn't win the fight. He got beat. He got beat clean. But I understand not being able to accept the fact that you lost.
Right.
I think that that a lot of guys, and of course, if you really do blow it, you're getting death threats on Twitter and
Yeah.
and especially if you think if you go the other way on a really popular fighter, you could be in if you're, it depends on who. Like, I know it's not like the 70s, it's not like the 50s and 70s, it's like not like through the 50s and 70s where,
Not at
you could
all.
have the mob, whether it be Mexican or Italian, like cartel pull outside your house and, take you out.
Yeah.
But um you still have to you have to think about those things and being a judge, and it could be fun. It could be a lot of fun. You get to see places, you get to meet people, you get to be involved in
Like
the
a
sport,
draft
and
kick.
especially if you love it, you get to be involved in the sport you love without having to take any hits. So in that
Well,
regard, it could be a lot of fun.
Good point.
to some
um
extent.
you get to you get to be there and watch Tyson. You get to see all the big fight, especially if you're any good at it, if you're halfway decent at it, you probably get tapped to call big fights like the Tyson
Right.
Fury Anthony Joshua fight here in a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, whatever.
Couple of years.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'm assuming that the ones that are considered like elite or the good judges will get the bigger
Yeah.
fights. Where if you're controversial, you're going to get small fights
Crappy
and
fight.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it would be kind of cool to go and judge one. Or again, I've never been to a live boxing match. I've been invited on an occasion a couple times to do
Wow.
that, but I've never gone. Um, and it's definitely on the bucket list as far as sporting events to attend one
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd like to.
in person. Obviously, so is attending a NASCAR race as well. But I was talking to um, my buddy Dana, who got us Matt last week, and he's going to set us up more more interviews. He
That's
knows a lot
cool.
of people in the sports world, so we're going to do more interviews coming up. So I said, hey, I should just put him in touch with me. Give him my number. We'll have a conversation and see when exactly they can come on, and we'll go from there. One of them is on a podcast with Jesus, I don't. Well, the one of them says he has a lot of foulings. I go, as long as he can keep the F bombs to a minimum, we're okay.
There we
Yeah.
go.
We're
Good luck
okay
with
with
that
that.
one, bub.
But one of them knows Steven
It's not
Jackson,
funny.
and if I could get Steven Jackson on here
The
to talk
former
about
running back for the.
oh no, not Steven Jackson. Who was the one that played for the Pacers during the Mouth of the Palace? What Jackson? There was a Jackson. The hell was? Hang on a minute. Let me look it up real quick. Hang on. Let me see. Oh,
I'm
and by the
thinking.
way, I'm flabbergasted too that my wrestling articles on the website are doing great. I don't know why, but
That's cool.
they
We're
are.
good.
Let's see. Who was it? Who was involved? Ron Artest obviously was the main culprit, and then Wallace.
That
But
Right.
moron.
who else? There were a couple other people involved. Well, there was a bunch of players
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
Yes.
The funny thing is Reggie Miller was not in the game that day. He was
Right.
he was injured. He was not in there. Ron Artest. Steven Jackson. I'm sorry. It was
Steven
Steven
Jackson.
Jackson. He played for the Pacers. He knows Steven. I'm like, if I can have Steven on here to tell us about Mouse at the Palace,
That'd be cool
absolutely.
as heck.
Are you kidding me? To be able to have
Absolutely.
somebody who witnessed that? Yes, Steven. Tell us how it all
No, no.
unfolded. How
Yep.
how did it all tell us your side of the story? And you can
Yeah.
go as you can be as
The
blunt
floor is
as you possibly can. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
I don't care. We don't care. You
The
know.
floor is yours. Tell us your side of the story, brother.
Yeah, we don't give a cat to us.
Because
Yep.
not to devolve into in talking about the Malice in the Palace, but to devolve in talking about to talk about the Malice in the Palace. The way
Yeah.
the story I heard is that it was either Ben Wallace or Rashid. I think it was Ben Wallace. Him and Artest
Yeah.
were John. They were talking. They were talking shit. They were John, and and they started pushing and shoving, and then somebody threw a drink at them from up in the stands, and it all came unglued.
Yeah.
That's the story that I've heard. Is that
Yeah,
somebody in the
it was Ben Wallace and Ron Artest, and then they went to the scorers table where the referees and the scorers sit, and
right?
Ron Artest got on top of the table, laying down, and somebody threw a drink at him, and then that's when it all went to shit.
It was on from there.
It was on from that point on, and
Talk about
I
a
would-
dumbass.
watching something about the Pacers not too long ago, and they were talking. No, it was about that. It was a documentary on Netflix. I was
Hmm.
at home from working at home because I wasn't had a bad cold and didn't want to spread it around the office. So I stayed home and I was watching Netflix, and that was one of the documentaries was the Malice at the Palace, and I'm like, I got to watch this because I was a Reggie Miller fan, so
Mhm.
I have watched this, and like I said, I mean, once the cup hit Artest, it was shit hit the fan at that point, and
Absolutely.
it'll go down as probably you wouldn't call that a tragedy, right?
No,
That's not a tragedy.
No.
no bad press as long as they spell your name right.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Right. Yeah.
No,
I believe
people.
they rank it as
No,
one of the darkest times in sports.
no,
It's
people.
ranked as one,
Yeah,
if
they
not
tried.
the top in history.
Yeah, they wanted it. They was like it's a black eye for the NBA, a storm cloud, and like, yeah, no, it was a moment in time where there were the feelings were just things bled over, and people, drunk people do stupid shit. I mean, and
Yes,
nobody
they
got
do.
really hurt, and at the end of the day, some punches were exchanged and some shoves were had and some fans got their asses beat that probably should have got their asses beat, and everybody,
Yeah.
life goes on. It was
Oboda.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. You guys want to call it right there?
Yeah, we can call it on that. Yep.
Okay. Before
Lou,
I
go
make
ahead
a
and
complete
talk
ass-
about your show, bud.
All right, before I make a complete ass myself, which I think I already did, the Enhanced Sports Show will continue on Saturday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Number to call is 512-543-4662. Yeah, we're of course going to discuss the MLB trades that's been going on. It's been Trade City through the past couple of days. NFL preseason. We'll also take a look at the schedule for the coming week, which reminds me that we also will do. We won't take the whole list. We'll go through what each person thinks is the game of the week. So I have to put it that way. Also, of course, WNBA. We'll also take a look if anybody's interested in highlights of SummerSlam, which happened last week. It may be possible because there is a Little League World Baseball playoff action that's going on right now, and the new Women's League for baseball has started. So if anybody had a chance to see that, give your inputs on it. New York is playing San Francisco tonight, and they're on the way to victory. Thank goodness. Also, your thoughts and comments this week in sports history. The Hey Stupid article of the week, aka Idiot of the Week. This day in sports history, and the feel good story of the week. So remember the number is 512-543-4662. Again, 512-543-4662. Compliments of your friendly neighborhood podcaster, me.
Cool. Again, I want to thank these two gentlemen for making this day so great this night. We will be back, guys, next week at 8 o'clock p.m. We'll be joined by WNBA writer Betty Cantlay. Will be talking to us. I know
My buddy.
I wrote off the other day that they're expanding. There's a Cleveland franchise that
Yep.
the Cleveland Sirens are now part of
Cleveland
the
Sirens.
2028 season, that they will be a part of the WNBA.
Mhm.
But they will be on next. I'm sorry, my apologies. That's not next week. Nicole Fauci is next
Right.
week. I'm sorry, my apologies. Betty's the
Right.
following week. It's Nicole next week.
That's
Have on
right,
it. We'll do our college and pro football preview show the last Thursday of the month. And again, that show will probably bring on, if Alec and Gerald are available, or anyone else out there that wants to join us on that night, please feel free to join us.
Yes.
Come on here and tell us about where your team you think you're going to finish. But before I go, I always want to say thank you to our first responders and a minimum of our armed services. Thank you for doing what you do. We would not be able to do what we do if it wasn't for you. Again, we'll be back again at 8 o'clock next week when Nicole talking about her three-peat at the tournament that she just qualified for the KMPMG Classic next
Yeah.
year. Until then, I am the sports director, Bradley Walker. This is the Walker Report. We are part of NGSC Sports. Remember the website, it's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. Until then, peace.
Good night, folks. So we get out of here.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Yes.